If you're interested in an inexpensive, get-it-done spelling program, I have a suggestion for you. Welcome! I have not done a curriculum spotlight in some time, but today I'm back with one. If you've never watched a curriculum spotlight before, I don't want to call them reviews, but tell you how they got started. When I'm interested in looking for new curriculum, I really want to just chit-chat with someone while I'm looking through their material and hear how they use things and what they like and what they don't like, and ask my questions. And so obviously I can't do that with you, but that's what I try to do through my spotlights. Show you things and just kind of chit-chat and try to answer the questions that I would ask if I were exploring a new program. You may know Moving Beyond the Page as either a unit study type thing program. They've got all kinds of really interesting looking topics. We've not used any of them, but I've scrolled through their website several times and they look pretty cool. But I had never heard of their online spelling program until last spring. But before I get into the details of the program, it is a mastery-based program. $25 for a family membership for a year, so you cannot beat that price. They suggest spending 30 minutes a week on spelling. We spend somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes a day on spelling, roughly. You purchase it from their website, like I said. They also have an app that you can use on an iPad or an Android tablet. There are several different levels available, and you can assign your child to one, let them work through it, and then you can move on to the next one. If you want to start at the very beginning, no matter what their age is, you can start at the beginning and then just go through all the levels. I started Matthew in the lowest level, and I started Ben at like the second level. And Matthew has completed that first level and then moved on to the second one as well. It reads a sentence to you. It says the word, reads the sentence, and then it says the word again. And type it in. If it's correct, you just move on to the next word. If it's incorrect, it will show you the rule and give a quick explanation of why it's wrong. And then you go on. Each word you have, and first, if you master it first off, you've mastered it. If you don't, then you have to spell it correctly 2 times before it'll count as mastered. And if you miss it one of those times, they'll add to it, and they'll keep adding to it. So the number of times you have to spell it correctly before it's marked mastered depends on how many times you misspell it. Does that make sense? So the quicker you spell it correctly, the fewer times you have to keep repeating it. So it's mastery in that sense, but there's also a little bit of looping. Now, once you've mastered them, you will still occasionally see them in future lessons. Each quiz or lesson has some kind of a theme around it, so like OU words or long E words or that sort of thing. But again, like I said, those other words that you're still mastering get added into them. We chose this program for Ben because we had spelling workout. He was dreading it and fighting me about it, and I didn't want to do that. So we tried sequential spelling, and that I didn't mind the program. I think that's what it is, sequential spelling online. I didn't mind the program itself, but we had continual technical problems on their end. So I'm not going to pay for that. So I went searching and I found Moving Beyond the Page, and I really like it. Both of my boys use it. Like I said, Elizabeth will occasionally use it. Some pros of the program. One, obviously, like I said, it's online, so you're typing, but with the tablet, you have the option to handwrite it. So if you have an iPad or whatever you have with a stylus, you can handwrite your answer. So I like that it's also developing that muscle memory of the actual physical act of writing and not just the typing. I'm all about typing though in this age, but I also obviously see value in handwriting. So I do really like that. Another pro, of course, is the price. $25 for a year for multiple children and multiple levels, because if they complete all 4 levels in a year, then you can just keep moving on. You don't have to keep rebuying another level. So I love that. I really love the mastery approach, because once they've learned it, they can go on with it. And that's why, that was what was attractive to me about it. For my middle kiddo, once he's mastered something, he hates to keep practicing it over and over. Which is one of the reasons why we switched to Beast Academy for math. Yeah, that's his style. So this works out really well for that. Some cons: there is not a lot of vocabulary practice. So if that's something that you want, you're not really going to get that. They put it in the context of one sentence, but they use the same sentence for the same word always. Another con, and this has not happened very often, but sometimes, like the word might be, for example, fold, but in the sentence they say folds. So if your child really needs to listen carefully, like I said, that's happened not very often, but it's annoying when it happens. Because if they're listening, they say the word first, and then the word in the sentence is the one that they hear last. So that's kind of what's in their mind. And another con would be that if you don't have a tablet, you don't have handwriting practice. Now, the way they suggest the program to do it, if I remember correctly, is that you take a quiz on Monday, and then throughout the week, you work on writing any words that you missed. We do it differently. Matthew pretty much just does the quizzes. Spelling comes pretty natural to him, so I've just been letting him do that, and I don't usually have him handwrite out any words. Ben, though, I do. So he'll take a quiz on Monday, and then depending on how many he missed, he might do just Tuesday and then another quiz on Wednesday, so every other day, or maybe just be like Monday and Friday. And the advantage when I have him handwrite out his words is that you can look at the words to come, and so sometimes I'll start including those words so that when he gets to a quiz that has those words on it, he's already practiced it and then can have a better chance of mastering it the first time around, or the second. If you have a child who does pretty well with spelling but then has gaps, I think it would be especially good for them, because a traditional spelling program, you would have to buy like the whole thing and then figure out where, like maybe not use half the book just so that they're filling in the gaps. Well, this one, as soon as they've proven that they have mastery of it, they're done with it, and then they can only spend time practicing on the words that they actually need practice on. So I think it's really good for that. It goes through, I think it's listed as age 13. Today when I was playing around with it to see what that highest level was, it was words like abbreviation, invitation, addresses, so definitely longer words. I just remember, I think it was either 11 or 13, I forget, 12. Either way, that's what the kind of words you might see on the last level. Now, who's it not good for? It would not be good for those who, if you want a lot of practice with actually handwriting it, unless you adapt it such that, just once a week you do a quiz, and then the rest of the week you do either just rote copying of the word or practice with sentences or whatever. I mean, it's easy to adapt in that way. Do a quiz on Monday. On Tuesdays, write each of the words 2 or 3 times. On Wednesday, look up their definitions. Thursday, write their sentences. Friday, take another quiz or whatever. It's really adaptable. But if you don't want to have to adapt anything, but you still want a lot of handwriting practice, obviously this is not going to be a program that will work for you. If you want a lot of emphasis on rules, it's not going to be a good choice. I really loved that about All About Spelling, that it had the rules. My daughter used it, and I really liked that. It taught me some rules that I didn't know. But if you have a child who just wants to master it, this might work. But if you really want that emphasis on rules, this isn't going to do it. Like I said, as you miss problems, it'll give you a quick explanation, but it's like, OU can make the owl sound. Like, that's pretty much the explanation. So you're not going to get a lot of that. It is obviously super easy to implement because you just open it up and turn it on and they do it. You don't have to do any preparation. You don't have, you could be completely hands off the entire year if you want. You do have the option to receive emails saying that they completed a quiz, but if you want to just have a completely hands-off spelling program, this one can be that program. We'll continue to use it. I don't anticipate that we'll stop until they've mastered all of them. There is a 30-day free trial membership, so you can check it out. You can give it a good try before you decide if you want to be aboard or not. And if you like this video on an inexpensive homeschool curriculum, you want to click on the playlist that you'll see right now to find other inexpensive and even free resources for your homeschool. Thanks for watching.